of the night. Why are they up and about while the rest of the world sleeps? What's their purpose? Where are they going? They look like a modern sheriff's posse preparing to chase a desperate man through rough country. But they're not. This has been going on for hours now. Hundreds of horses have been loaded. In the past few hours, dozens of trucks have come and gone. The blackness of night surrenders to the gray of a new day. The huge vans move out to make way for still more trucks waiting to be loaded.
The time, early morning, just a few minutes after dawn. This place is bustling with activity, just as it is every morning, 5 days a week. You see, long about sunrise every day, a small army of wranglers meet here. They pick out hundreds of horses, load them into huge trucks and vans like this one, and take them to locations and studios. Now there, they're joined by camera crews and your favorite Western heroes who mount up and gallop through and relive those fabulous days of the Old West. Well, our request comes from Barbara Brown, who sees us in Schenectady, New York, and she writes, "There are more heroes of the Old West alive today than ever before in history. Cowboy stars are galloping across our movie and television screens everywhere you look. The men who supply the horses and equipment for Westerns must be doing a big business. Will you take us behind the scenes and show us how they work?" Well, Barbara, as a cowpoke might say, you're right as rain, man. The Old West is a big business. We're at Hudkins Brothers Stables in the San Fernando Valley, one of the oldest and largest suppliers of livestock and equipment for Westerns. Now, their horses have probably carried Errol Flynn to victory in battle, helped Randolph Scott and Alan Ladd open the frontier, and recently you've probably seen them carrying your favorite television cowboy to safety, too. Now, these horses that are being loaded right now will be galloping through your living room in a couple of months on TV shows. But in order to tell the whole story, let's go back and take it from the very beginning.
All right, I'll confirm this order back to you now. It's the Warner Brothers Maverick on the Western Street, 1 ramrod, 8 wranglers, the livestock, Brett Maverick's horse, 1 sheriff's horse, 5 posse horses.
The dispatcher's office is the focal point of the operation. Studios and production companies call in their orders for the following day, and the dispatcher fills those orders from a massive blackboard listing all available stock. Dozens of trainloads of hay a year are required to feed the hundreds of head of livestock, which include burros, mules, and oxen, as well as all kinds of horses. The orders received by the dispatcher are forwarded to a ramrod wrangler, or the wrangler in charge. The ramrod and his men know just what each horse can do best. One animal will stand still for close-ups, another won't. Some horses are good for chases, some not. Remember the Nebraska Wildcat fight fans? Well, here he is, Ace Hudkins.
Hi, Jack.
Hi, Ace.
Good to see you.
Thank you. Fine.
The Stardust, give Jack a big smile. Big one, huh? Big. Atta boy, nice horse.
Ace, we know you're a wrangler ramrod. What does that mean exactly?
Well, that means, Jack, when you're in charge of maybe 15 or 20 men, and you got the wagons to hook up and stagecoaches, and you tell them which one to hook to, then you've got 10 or 12 actors, and you have to have the horses in a certain position for a certain time for it to get in the camera. That's what a ramrod is.
Ace, what's the biggest job that you ever tackled as a ramrod?
Well, I went to Long Pine with Gary Cooper. We had about 250 head of horses on that one. And I just finished a picture here at Warner Brothers called The Miracle, with about 150 head of horses on it.
Well, we all know the country's gone Western crazy, so I guess with all the new TV series, you send out a lot more horses than you ever did before.
No, Jack, years ago, the movie spent more money and used 300 or 400 head of horse on the picture. Today, each television show uses fewer horses. But there are more shows going, so it comes out about the same.
A buggy is needed by some studio tomorrow, so they get it ready today. No matter what kind of a conveyance the script calls for, you'll find it here. Everything from ox carts to a hearse. They have covered wagons, surreys with a fringe on top, even elegant carriages, just like the kind that transported Queen Elizabeth. Or a brand new old-time Black Maria, just like the kind that might have carted Grandfather off to the Hooskow years ago. Yes, sir, everything on wheels you can possibly think of from out of the past. More than 7 acres of closely packed vehicles representing the last 400 years in man's transportation advancement. And they're all authentic. They have to be to pass the close inspection of a movie camera. So take this Concorde coach. It's the same down to the last little detail as the stages that braved the perils of the early West 100 years ago. Here's the man who keeps them all running, Lawrence Carr. His talent is a rare one in our modern age. He can build or repair any ancient wagon, coach, or cart that ever existed. The Hudkins brothers told me in all the years Lawrence has been doing this work for them, they haven't bought a single bolt or nut. He makes most of the parts right here in his shop. Let's talk to him.
Lawrence,
All right.
how are you?
All right.
You operate one of the most unusual shops in existence. How'd you get started repairing stagecoaches and wagons?
Well, my dad was a stagecoach builder when I grew up, and I've been at it all my life.
I notice you have a lot of tools around here. Do you use regular mechanics tools to repair?
No, you can't use regular mechanic tools in a blacksmith shop. You got to use real blacksmith tools.
How much is a stagecoach worth today?
A stagecoach is worth today from $5,000 to $6,000.
How much was it worth when it was new?
Or anywhere from $800 to $1,200.
Wow, almost 6 times as much possibly
That's
today.
right.
Well, obviously you can't buy parts, I know that. So what do you do when you say, well, let's say you need a wheel?
Well, we have to build it. We have to make it.
Lawrence, what's the toughest assignment ever handed you?
The most toughest assignment since I've been here is building a stagecoach.
You mean you built it just from scratch?
That's right. That's the one coming in over there.
Well, that's a great job, Lawrence. What exactly did you do in repairing this?
I built this from the ground up.
It was pretty much of a wreck when you got it?
Yeah, it was a total wreck.
What had happened?
Well, Warner Brothers was using it and let it go over a 500-foot spill.
Mm-hmm.
They had to bring it back here on a flat truck. It was a total wreck.
Every animal on this spread gets the very best of care. They're fed a regular balanced diet, and a veterinarian makes periodic checkups on their health. And when an animal shows aptitude, he's even sent to school, usually to learn some specialty. This handsome stallion is demonstrating his ability to fight. You may see him on the screen as a killer fighting a man, or as a frightened, almost helpless fellow trying to hold off a bear or a mountain lion. Do you ever hear of makeup for horses? Well, it's for real. Let's say you've got a horse that can do everything the script calls for except one thing. The answer? Well, you get a horse that can do that one thing well, and if the markings don't match, a little liquid makeup, and the audience is convinced that they've only seen one horse. Here comes Clyde Hudkins. Let's meet him.
Hello, Jack.
Hello, Clyde.
How are you?
Fine, thank you. Clyde, how'd you and your brothers get into this business in the first place?
Well, I'll tell you, my father owned a livery stable back in Nebraska. Developers in Nebraska for 25 years. And we was all born and raised packaged in a livery stable.
Well, how many horses would you estimate are used every day filming movie and television westerns?
Well, I'd say anything from 250 to 300 head.
That covers movie and TV, huh?
Yes, sir.
Well, now, the SPCA, we know, protects horses used in films. Can you give us a particular example of how extensive that protection is?
Well, years ago, they used to use the running W in the pitfall.
Now, what's a running W?
They put wires to a horse's front legs and take his legs away from him at the end of the wire. Stake the wire down.
What do they do today?
And today they have trained falling horses.
I see, that are trained and they know what they're doing when they fall them. Well, we've seen how horses are made up to double one another. What else can you do with movie makeup on horses?
This is another example of the way we make up horses. Now, we take and trim the brand on them like this.
Well, Clyde, let's see if I've got this right. Instead of using a hot branding iron, you use those scissors to cut out the brand.
And there's no harm done to them, no way, shape, or form.
Well, now it's early morning again. All of yesterday's preparations for today's shooting are paying off. Everything is ready just the way it was to be. In a couple of hours, movie and television cameras will begin filming scenes for your entertainment. Today, more banks will be robbed than the Dalton gang could have managed in a lifetime. More stagecoaches will be held up than Black Bart ever dreamed of. And more peaceful little towns will be terrorized by a gunslinger than Billy the Kid knew existed. And that's just today. Tomorrow will be just as busy, and so will the day after that. The whole country has gone Western crazy. Practically every hero of long ago is being immortalized on film. Today, the cowboy is king. I wonder if Horace Greeley had any idea what he was starting when he uttered those famous words, "Go west, young man."
Well, 100 years ago, the Old West was a reality. Today, it's alive only in a world of make-believe, a world of cameras, actors, scripts, makeup, and wardrobe. And yet today, the Old West is big business, multi-million-dollar-a-year business. Barbara Brown, we went behind the scenes with the men behind the Westerns because you asked for it.